Okay, as you can tell, we're looking at investigation number 1 of 6.3. Okay, 6.3. And we're talking about double bar graphs and double line graphs. We're actually going to make one of each for our continuation of our summary. This right here is a double bar graph. See 2 bars, notice a key, and then we have our double line graph. Okay, so this is showing us single families and condos, number of homes, how long they last on sale. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, a few things to know. We have the ability to put 2 bar graphs together if they are trying to show the same information for just different groups, just like you guys are doing with favorite soft drink and favorite book type and favorite movie type and which would you prefer to be, and if you had someone falling in a volcano, who needs to be saved, blah blah blah. So we're comparing that information. If we wanted to show the answers to a specific question based on the number of boys and girls that answered it, we could use a double bar graph. A double line graph is a little different because what it does is it shows a change over a period of time. Okay? You'll see one that doesn't exactly do that, but generally, if we had data from last year compared to data from this year, we could see how things have changed. Both of these graphs show the comparison between 2 categories when dealing with the same information. So that's important, the same information. All right, let's look at it. A double bar graph. First, you have to title it, okay? Always label your graph so that someone who just walks in can look at your piece of paper and go, oh, I know what that is. We're gonna work with vertical bars, bars that go up and down, okay? Horizontals if we turned it sideways. So we could make graphs that go like this, or we could make a graph that looks like this. So it is possible to do both of these. I'm asking you to focus on that one. Okay, we have to choose a scale of what our axes are going to look like, label the axes, and then we use our data to draw the bar. Okay, so what you're going to see in this next slide is an example. These are numbers that are made up, so don't worry too much about them. Okay, hours spent doing specific activities. So I've got information for boys and girls. All right, it said that girls are smarter. Look, they spend more time on homework. It says that middle school kids are lazy. Yeah, I apologize. I just made it up. Okay, we make a key. Okay, so this right here is our key, and basically what the key tells us is which color represents the boys and which color represents the girls. So I wrote the categories on the bottom. I labeled it activity. I wrote a scale on the Y. I labeled it hours, and then I made a bar for each one of boys and girls. Boys and girls. So boys are 7, girls are 5. Boys are 8, girls are 4. Boys are 2 because they're spending so much time on the computer. Girls spend 8 hours, and then the boys and the girls are the same for that. So this is a double bar graph. So you're going to write down your categories on the bottom. You're going to pick a scale based on the number of people that have answered those questions. You pick a color for each, and you draw your bars. Okay, pretty straightforward. We can actually compare 3 categories. If you wanted to break it down and do 8th graders, 7th graders, and 6th graders, you would have 3 different bars, and we could answer that question. Okay, in fact, that's a great idea. Okay, so that's a double bar graph. All right, now let's look at a double line graph. Okay, double line graph, steps for making a double line graph. Organize the data in a chart. It's going to be easier for us to put this data into a chart to see what it looks like. Now we have 2 scales. We have to pick a scale on the y-axis, that's the vertical. We have to pick a scale on the x-axis, that's the horizontal. In our example, it's a little different. Okay, our x-axis doesn't really have a scale. Create a key for the graph. This explains what the colors will represent, just like with the double bar. Plot the points on the graph, connect them with a line. That's why it's called, go figure, a line graph. Okay, and then create a title, label it, and whatnot. This information can be found at this great website. Okay, I found this. It actually has an interactive explanation of this. You can listen to it. You can watch them build a graph. Okay, I'm going to use the information from the previous bar graph, and we're going to put one together. Okay, so here is our data again, hours spent doing a specific activity. I have my hours on my y-axis. In this case, you notice that my x-axis is now objects. Okay, sports, computer, homework, and chores. Sometimes this is going to be numbers, other times it will be quantities, qualities, whatever. I still have blue for boys and orange for girls, and then I labeled it. So now I plot this point. I put a 7 in blue, and I put a 5 in orange. I put an 8 in blue, and a 4 in orange. A 2 in blue, and an 8, and a 1, and a 1. And then I connect the dots, okay? This is what a double line graph looks like. We can see the difference. The low for both is the chores. The high for boys is computers. The high for girls is homework. Remember, made up data, so don't be offended. Okay? You are going to work through doing both of these with all of the data you've collected. Okay? Yeah, if you have any questions, please make sure you ask. And this is the video that you need to watch for Tuesday. That's right, Tuesday. All right, enjoy.